We need elected officials to suffer just a little to be elected officials. I did a couple of articles, columns, and common sense commentaries about superdelegates in the Democratic Party. And a friend of mine who's a Democrat responded to one of them saying, hey, the Democrats have a right to choose their president as they want. To which I said, you're exactly right. And of course, our common sense commentaries are 250 some odd words, so we can't give every nuance to a story. But he was exactly right. My beef isn't that, somehow the Democrats don't have a right to do it that way. My beef is that I don't think that's such a good way to do it. And it's not because somehow then somebody who's a Democrat controls the party and I don't get to have a say, because I'm not going to have a say anyway. But it's that these are incumbents. And I see that one of the key problems with government is that government is run for the benefit of the people in government. First off, for the folks in the Congress. For years I've kind of thought, some of the folks who are in Congress who get lavish pensions and they're making big money and they come to Congress not very rich and then they stay for a couple of decades and my goodness, they're public servants, but they're really rich. I've always kind of thought, you got to pay people to do any job, whether it's as a representative or as a plumber or truck driver or whatever, what they're worth, what the market will bear. Well, there's not really a market for politicians. And I think we need elected officials to suffer just a little to be elected officials. And the reason is not that I want them to suffer. The reason is because if it is profitable, if it is good for them to be elected officials, if they make more money, they have more influence, all of a sudden their life is better because they're elected official, they're never going to want to leave. And people who have not found success in the world, who haven't figured things out, maybe other than how to turn one group of people against another, are likely to run for public office because that's a way to get ahead. And that's why I want public office to not be a way to get financially ahead, to get economically ahead. I think it ought to be for people, and I wouldn't say, boy, if you haven't made a certain amount of money, or if you haven't received a certain amount of celebrity or something, that you can't run for public office. I just want people in public office who have succeeded in some way and who don't need that job as the next step in their personal effort to succeed. And I think we'll get better legislators that way. And I think that goes back to the idea that the primary system and the political parties in essence have gotten in bed with the government and control things. They control access to the ballot for third-party and independent candidates. They control how the parties are doing certain things by dictating that it'll be an open primary or closed. And I think that all of that is designed to protect the incumbency of both parties. The Democrats, I think, do not have this year quite as much disagreement as the Republicans do. But you see the same insider versus outsider, and I think it is largely that Bernie Sanders has touched a lot of people, and as you know, I think he's a little touched, but his message has resonated with a lot of people, and Hillary Clinton's message has not resonated with people much at all. And yet she will win, and I think one of the reasons that's true is that I think the Democratic Party is more Washington-centered. It is more the party of government. And the Republican Party is more the party of business, and those are folks who are generally outside of government.